Welcome to Clover's Virtual Dance Studio Podcast, a show where we talk about everything and anything dance. And now, here's your host, Deanna Clover.
Hey guys, I just wanted to start off by saying thank you to my listeners and do a quick shout out. I really do appreciate you. Thank you to my listeners in Newmarket, Ontario. Thank you to my Floridians in Edgewater, Winter Park, Ocala, Orlando, Kissimmee, St. Cloud, Jensen Beach, Lady Lake, and Vero Beach. Thank you to my listeners in Milton and Colchester, Vermont, Kardzhali, Bulgaria, San Francisco, California, Wareham, Massachusetts, and Stamford and Fairfield, Connecticut. If you feel that my podcast has been inspirational or helpful in any way, please share my podcast link with others that might be interested in listening. Well, we're going to get talking about auditioning today. Have you ever auditioned for something and you felt so prepared and then didn't get the part? Or auditioned for something and felt so unprepared but then got the job? When it comes to auditioning, sometimes you can do everything you possibly can and be beyond prepared, but you still don't get the job. And that just happens. Sometimes it's just not meant to be. All you can do is learn from each audition you go to. And no matter how old you get, auditioning still can be kind of stressful. Recently, my friend got me involved in this audition for a nationwide commercial. At first, I was like, are you kidding me? I'm too old and I'm too out of shape. And I kind of felt like not really doing it, but she told me that they were looking for older dancers. And so, you know what? I just thought I'd give it a shot. This wasn't your normal audition process. I met up with a group of people that some I knew, some I didn't know, but we came together as a group. And we learned the choreography online from a video, which is actually kind of the new norm now. But we showed up to rehearse and we filmed our dance routine all in one day. We turned in our video and we actually got a call back. So we then returned to do the callback audition on camera live via Zoom. So that was my first time auditioning online via Zoom. So that was different, but it is definitely something to get used to because that is like, again, a new norm. We were then hired as a group and I was so excited. I was like, wow, I still got it. I was told to be prepared to receive phone calls in regards to wardrobe and scheduling. And then the next day I received an email that I was no longer needed. So they actually cut a few people from our group. And, you know, I felt like my younger days, like, what did I do wrong? Which I didn't do anything wrong. I just didn't fit their look, I guess, apparently, even though they wanted a group of dancers that looked different. But anyway, it doesn't get any easier or less stressful. I did have fun, and I went into it thinking of it, you know, hey, we only live once. What's the worst that's going to happen? But it was a great lesson, a lesson being that it is still possible to dance as we get older and heavier. We can still dance. And that's why I've made it a goal of mine to not only get in shape for myself and for my family, but to maybe possibly dance again or put myself out there more so, even though I am older. So if you have students or a child that is wanting to audition, get them prepared to dance on camera, practice your video skills, and have them practice speaking in front of the camera. I remember when I first auditioned for cruise ships, I literally remember running into a friend at night, at a nightclub, and he told me there was an audition the next day for Carnival Cruise Lines. In my head, I was like, there's no way I'm waking up this early. But I did, and I wasn't expecting anything, but I got hired that day during that audition. I think there was only about 5 of us that auditioned that day, so it wasn't a stressful audition. It's amazing that sometimes when you aren't prepared, you get the job. I'm not saying to not be prepared, but you just never know. And of course, always give it your all. When I would audition for Disney World equity dancers or dancing positions, I definitely got stressed out every time I auditioned. I think it was primarily because there were so many people And, I always felt like I would never be the right look because I was shorter, 5'2". And I'm not stick thin, I'm muscular built. I might have outdanced some of the dancers that got hired. But maybe I just wasn't the right look for that particular role. And as a teacher and parent, this is a hard lesson to learn. It's not always how we dance or how high you can kick your leg or how many turns you can do. It's how you are put together, the whole package. Your hair, your makeup, your physical appearance, your outfit, your talent, your personality. Speaking of personality, when I have judged past dance routines or competitions or cheer or gymnastics competitions, I prefer watching the routine that made me feel something. The dancer that has personality on stage is so much more entertaining than a dancer who has perfect technique. I remember when I was little, I auditioned for the Mickey Mouse Club. I never knew what to expect at these auditions, especially being younger and not having experience and not having an older sibling or friend I could look up to and ask questions. I actually made it past the dance part and I was so surprised. So then the next thing is that they asked me to sing. And guess what? I was not prepared at all. I am horrible at remembering lyrics to words, especially, back in the day, we didn't have easy access to lyrics. I didn't have a track to sing to, so I had to sing a cappella. I knew the words to Happy Birthday, but when I was actually thinking of what other songs do I know besides Happy Birthday, I decided to sing Doe, a deer, a female deer, Ray, a drop of golden sun, sung by Julie Andrews from The Sound of Music. I was young, and in my head, I was mad at myself because I wasn't a singer and I wasn't prepared, and I was a little sarcastic when I sang it. It was almost like I was talking. So I kind of sang it like this: Doe, a deer, a female deer, Ray, a drop of golden sun, like with my eyes kind of rolling. Anyway, if I would have only just faked it and put personality into it, I am sure I could have moved on to the next part, but I literally just gave up. I don't know why my younger self did that. I could have had a chance, but again, I always say every experience is an experience, good or bad, and we can always learn from our experiences. So here are a few things you should not do at an audition. Number 1, don't compare yourself with other dancers. I remember I would totally do this all the time, and it would ruin my concentration. I would think, oh, she is way more flexible than me, and oh, she's prettier than me. But this one time I watched this particular dancer who I thought was so perfect and so flexible. I watched her do the routine. I remember thinking, what was I thinking? What was I worried about? She was not a great dancer at all. So from then on, I just don't look at people when they are stretching before the audition or how they look. I'm not saying to not be polite. I'm just saying focus on you when you are auditioning. Number 2, don't be your own worst enemy, which kind of goes with number 1. Don't put yourself down. If you are like me, just don't watch them perform when it's their turn to audition. It is an audition, so keep pumping yourself up. Number 3, don't be afraid to show your personality. If you're asked a question or maybe they say, does anyone have a question? Speak up, ask one. Even if you don't have one, think of something. Or if they say, who can demonstrate such and such step? Jump in. The more that they make eye contact with you and that you are seen by the judges, the more they will remember you. So just do it in a good way. Obviously, don't be annoying about it. Number 4, don't be underprepared. Bring extra headshots and resumes, dance shoes. Have a freestyle routine ready to go if they ask for freestyle. Bring extra clothes if you have an emergency, or maybe it's just not fitting the way it was back at home. Or maybe someone has the same outfit as you. Bring a snack in case the audition goes long. Make sure your car is working. Set multiple alarms so you aren't late to the audition. Again, be prepared. So if your student's auditioning for a musical and they're looking for dancers, have them be prepared to sing or act just in case. It's funny. I remember in high school, I auditioned one summer to be in the high school musical and I wanted to just dance. You know, I'm a dancer. Well, somehow I ended up getting a lead role and I had to sing, act, and of course dance. And so, yeah, I was not prepared to sing, but I got the lead role. Anyway, it's sad because when I think back, I don't even realize how much of an honor it was to have a lead role like that. So when I do look back, I'm proud and I wish I knew what I know now and appreciated things more, because that was pretty awesome to have this lead role and I didn't even realize it because I was like just focused on the dancing part. Anyway, number 5, don't assume that the person that signs you in at the audition doesn't have a say in who gets the job. You know, oftentimes there is a team that makes decisions on who gets the job. So, you know, don't be signing in and talking about something or someone because you never know who's listening and watching you. If your student or child needs some advice or someone to help critique their audition routine, I am here to help. I recently had a client reach out in regards to her daughter who's a gymnast, and she just needed to add more pizzazz to her routine, dance-wise. So via video, I was able to watch the routine and give some advice and tips on the routine on how to add sharpness or style to the move she was doing. I had another client who reached out for their son who wanted advice for their talent show routine. So I collaborated with the boy who put most of the routine together, which I honored, and gave him a few steps on how to make it even better. Another client just needed me to watch a video of her daughter doing an aerial cartwheel. She was looking for any advice on how to get her to do her aerial cartwheel. And so again, this was all via video. I gave some tips and she did end up getting her aerial in no time. So if you're needing these services, I am here. It's always nice to get other opinions. So again, if you need an opinion on something, reach out. Just go to my website, deannaclover.com. That's DEANNACLOVER.com. Click on contact or just go to shop or my store and pick which service best suits you. I hope some of these tips or stories help you or your student or child with auditioning. Thanks again, guys, for listening. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to Clover's Virtual Dance Studio podcast. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and be sure to join us on social media, including YouTube, TikTok, and more. Thanks again, and keep on dancing.